Coming off a win in round number 8, the Mason-Dixon GNCC, Stu Baylor is set to go to battle with the 530 factory KTM of Ben Kelly. Will the number 514 Ampro Yamaha prevail? Will Jordan Ashburn find that ever-elusive first win of the season? Or will Ben Kelly rebound to take his second win of the year? GNCC on MAVTV starts now.
Are you ready to go GNCC Racing?
Well, hello and welcome to the 9th round of the 2021 GNCC racing season, presented by Specialized and AMA National Championship. We're here for the Snowshoe GNCC in Almost Heaven, West Virginia, atop Snowshoe Mountain. I'm Mikey Waynes, and I'll be taking you through today's racing action. And of course, we start things off with the Specialized race recap. It was Lane Michael grabbing the whole shot and early lead, but as they went into the woods, it was Ricky Russell on the factory gas machine moving up front, but it didn't take long for the 530 factory KTM of Ben Kelly to move into the first place position. And as the race wore on, it was Stu Baylor moving into that number 2 spot behind Kelly, as we have seen so many times this season, watching these two battle back and forth. Stu Baylor trying to chip away at that points lead that is held by the 530 KTM. Smooth sailing in the pits for a few, and we had some rough days for a couple of other riders. Thad Duvall with some troubles in the Rockstar Husky pits, as well as early leader Ricky Russell finding some troubles out there. But as the race wore on, as we've seen again so many times this season, that battle between Stu Baylor and Ben Kelly, eventually the 514 Ampro Yamaha would find his way out front, with Ben Kelly trailing behind. Very, very tight racing close to the end here, but as the day wore on, it was Stu Baylor snagging another win here in 2021, just chipping away at that points lead. Take a look at your top 10. Again, Stu Baylor with the win, Ben Kelly second, and Jordan Ashburn, a podium finish for him today. Win is Ashburn going to snag that first win of the season. Actually had a chance to catch up with Stu after the race.
When Ben, I think when I called Ben 2 laps in, he was third place. He looked back, he dropped the hammer, and it was all I could do to run his pace all day. I was really giving it everything I had, and with the slot car racing out there, the ruts were deep, so a lot of mishaps with lappers. I know he was doing the same. I could hear him revving, and then he made a mistake with 3 to go. I think he tangled with a lapper and was able to close the gap, but shortly after that, ripped my brake pedal off. So from there, it was trying to go as fast as I could without rear brakes, and luckily that's one of my drills that Nelco and I do every week. So it was, it's funny, on a moto track, I'm within a second of my lap time with rear brakes. So I was able to reel him back in, and I had a line picked out. I passed a couple guys on earlier in the day, and just shaved a really tight corner midway through, and I was just able to capitalize on him missing that line, and was able to push that next section. I knew it was deep ruts, which slow you down. You don't really need rut brakes in them, so dropped the hammer and didn't look back.
Well, if that drum line doesn't give you cold chills, you better check your pulse. Live engine start as we pay homage to the Blackwater 100. So your top 5 riders and points out of the XC1 set to roll here. And Ricky Towery, the official, waving of the green flag. And we're off, jockeying for position. Who wants it? Stu Baylor is out front. And, oh, down goes Stu Baylor. So Stu Baylor sliding on the blacktop at Snowshoe Mountain Resort. He gives the fans a thumbs up. He's good. I think he'll be back in the mix here shortly. Jordan Ashburn out in front as we head into the woods here. Josh Strang, the Babbitt's Online Monster Energy Kawasaki rider, sitting in the number 2 spot with Ben Kelly third, and Grant Baylor sitting in fourth. So there he is. There is Stu Baylor back in the number 5 position. And row number 2 already knocking on the door behind him. There is the Coastal Racing Factory Gas rider, Ricky Russell there. So Jordan Ashburn, Snowshoe Mountain, rocky. There's no way around it. Very technical, one of the roughest tracks, if not the roughest, that we run on the season. And how about that? Ben Kelly in the number 3 spot. That was Stu Baylor in front of him. So Stu already moved up into the number 2 position. And there is Josh Strang on camera right there on the Kawasaki. Smooth, methodical as he works his way through. And Josh Toth, boy, the 206 factory KTM rider, always looks so smooth, so technical. He's like riding 101 for those watching at home. And I know we've had a few shots of Josh Toth, and his riding technique is just stellar. Grant Baylor behind Josh Toth. And here is the 212 factory gas ride of Ricky Russell. So Ricky Russell falling off a little bit, but still in the mix. And into the iconic Howard's Hole we go. There is Jordan Ashburn still out in front on the number 3 Magna 1 Motorsports machine. See who's in second, still Stu Baylor. So the 514 Ampro Yamaha knocking on the door of Jordan Ashburn. And where is third place? It was Ben Kelly last time we saw him. So, whoa, little gap between Baylor and third place. We'll see if it's still Ben Kelly as we peer. And look at the fans down at Howard's Hole. They're ready for it. And there it is. That is Ben Kelly. So there is the 530 KTM of Ben Kelly in that number 3 spot. We're off and rolling. Iconic Howard's Hole, Snowshoe Mountain. Boy, can Jordan Ashburn hang on and snag his first win of his career here today. More GNCC on MAVTV after this.
Coverage of the 2020 Grand National Cross Country Series on MAVTV is brought to you in part by Specialized Turbo E-Bikes. It's you, only faster. Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready. And by Yamaha. Revs your heart.
Well, welcome back to GNCC on MAVTV. Stu Baylor has taken the lead in front of Jordan Ashburn, and Ben Kelly remains in the number 3 position. So things starting to take shape here on Snowshoe Mountain. Stu heading into the FMF PowerPoint as he and Ashburn keep the battle tight. Coming down the mountain, at least for a brief moment. They'll be heading right back up here in a second, greeted by the fans. Little hill climb action for you here, unless you are a hill climber and you think to yourself, that's cake, that's a cakewalk. But nonetheless, the video doesn't quite do that climb justice. I can tell you that right now. But both riders looking smooth right there. Baylor maintaining that lead, but Ashburn refusing to give up on him here. Ashburn giving Baylor everything he wants. Keeping our eyes on this. And there is Ben Kelly. Ooh, slowing down a little bit right there. Very technical track. Not a lot of places for a lot of speed here on Snowshoe Mountain. It is, without a doubt, a love-hate for a lot of riders. Again, Stu Baylor doing his thing out front, and Jordan Ashburn refusing to let Stu Baylor out of his sights. We'll see, thinking, judging by the fact that our fans are walking through right there, going to say there is a little bit of a gap now developing between second and third place. And you got to think, is it still going to be Ben Kelly, or has someone else perhaps been able to get around Ben Kelly as this gap, this gap has really increased now. No, it will be the factory KTM ride of Ben Kelly still in that number 3 position. We'll see if he can catch back up to the pace of these two guys out front. That is Stu Baylor still in the lead, and Jordan Ashburn doing his thing behind him, looking for an opportunity to make something happen and maybe make a push to get around Baylor to regain that lead that he had early in this one. As the camera pans back, we catch, there he is, Ben Kelly. So Ben Kelly has been able to chip away at that lead a little bit. Things really heating up here on Snowshoe Mountain, but Baylor is the guy out front, in control, in the driver's seat, if you will. The 514 Ampro Yamaha ride looking good right there. And there is Jordan Ashburn still in his sights. The number 3 Magna 1 Motorsports Husqvarna seems to fit very, very well with that team. Ashburn has had some great rides this season. However, that win has eluded him. We'll see if he can maybe make it happen here on the mountain today. Ben Kelly, the 530 factory KTM rider, still in the number 3 position. Well, as a lot of folks know, there is more than motorcycle racing at GNCC. In fact, the EMTBs took to the racetrack here on Saturday evening as Charlie Mullins and Nick Mackey would go to battle. These two guys, Nick Mackey coming on strong this year, actually coming off a big win just a couple of weeks prior, but atop the mountain, it was Charlie Mullins snagging his 4th win of the season. When it was all said and done and the checkered flag flew. Nonetheless, some great racing, and if you have not experienced the EMTB racing, there is something for everybody. There's pro level, amateur, a women's class, a youth, and of course a beginner as well. So something for everybody. If you haven't given it a shot, can't encourage you enough to check this out. So again, a big congratulations, Kyle Smith right there. Solid rider. We'll see coming up. He actually took the win at Loretta Lynn's last season, and that is coming up. We'll see if Kyle Smith can go out there and snag another win at Loretta's here in a few weeks. Should be interesting. But boy, as the race wore on, the battle that ensued between Nick Mackey and Charlie Mullins, it's been one to watch. But as the checkered flag flew again, there he is, exhausted, was Charlie Mullins, taking that first place finish just by about a bike length over Nick Mackey. Well, another huge part of Snowshoe Mountain is the ISD golf tournament. And you can see it is definitely a fundraiser for the ISDE team. Not something these guys take too seriously. Maybe a little serious, but not a lot of serious. It's more fun than anything else. As you can see, Liam Draper right there and Johnny Gerard having a good time. I'm sure they appreciated that on the golf course at Snowshoe Mountain. But, boy, nonetheless, it's fun had by all. And there's a guy not having fun right now. That is Trevor Bollinger, the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna rider, making his way back to the pits. No bike with him, so bad news for Trevor Bollinger. As Stu Baylor makes his way into the pits now, going to get a fuel stop, a fresh set of goggles, little rehydration, nothing too major. Kinsey Tricker, WXC Pro, in there helping him out, the Am Pro Yamaha pits. So Stu Baylor back out on track, out in front. We'll see where Jordan Ashburn is. Let's see how close that is. Ashburn still right there. A couple lapped riders, but nonetheless, Jordan Ashburn into, that is mile marker number 9, as you see right there from the Racer TV banner, doing well. And Ben Kelly still remains in that number 3 spot. Things not really changing up between those top 3 riders, at least for the moment. We'll see if Jordan Ashburn can't maybe take advantage and find a way to get around Stu Baylor, but that's just not been the case since Stu Baylor's regained that lead and coming off the fresh pit stop here. As a matter of fact, Stu Baylor with a little bit of gap, and my man right there with the pizza and the cooler backpack says, hang on, here comes Jordan Ashburn. We're going to let him through. So there goes the number 3 Magna 1 Motorsports Husqvarna. And oh, how about this? Now Ashburn into the lead. So Ashburn takes over that lead, takes it back from Stu Baylor, I should say, though Baylor doing his best Jordan Ashburn impression, refusing to let him out of his sights. See if he can make it happen. And boy, that big gap we saw earlier is gone. There is Ben Kelly knocking on the door of second place. Well, can Jordan Ashburn hang on and grab his first overall win? We'll be right back with more Snowshoe GNCC. Well, while we were away, Stu Baylor regained the lead from Jordan Ashburn, and Ashburn right there, he's going to have to make up some time. We'll see, got a little gap now, and there is Ashburn. Ashburn going to have to work his way through some of this lap traffic. If you don't know, if you've never watched a GNCC before, you might be wondering to yourself, I thought I was watching the pro race. You are. We actually run these riders. The pros are out there against the Pro-Am guys. the amateur A riders as well as the amateur B riders, all on the race course at the same time. So just an added element of these GNCC races that the pro riders have to maneuver, so that it's them against the race course, against each other, and against that lap traffic. So there you see on screen Ben Kelly now into the number 3 spot, and Kelly starting to close in on the number 3 Magna 1 Motorsports ride of Jordan Ashburn now. So we'll see if Kelly can't throw his name into the mix and maybe be fighting for this lead here soon, as we get Stu Baylor on screen. Looking good in the woods. Who's going to be in the number? There you go. Ben Kelly now moves into the number 2 spot, and Kelly not too far back from Stu Baylor. Where is Jordan Ashburn? There he is. You can't miss it. That bright yellow helmet. The number 3. Boy, the lap traffic now playing a huge factor as this race wears on. And little misstep by Stu Baylor right there. And you can see the back of your screen. There he is, lurking, the 530 of Ben Kelly knocking on the door. Things starting to heat up. These two guys heavily favored. And boy, look at this. Now Kelly out in front. Kelly the new leader. Stu Baylor goes for the pass. He can't make it happen. Nothing happening for either rider right here, as they have to get help from the mechanics, from the race fans. Everybody is stepping in to help. Neither rider really able to do much. And there, coming like a bolt of lightning, is the number 3 Magna 1 Motorsports rider, Jordan Ashburn, in third. But no rider able to change positions through that very, very tough and technical section of the race course. Things heating up here. So Ben Kelly seizing the opportunity and moving out front now. And you can see these guys, no problems working around the lap traffic. Get a little single lane, single track that these guys may have some struggles with, but generally speaking, they're able to maneuver pretty easily around most of the lap traffic. No problems for Stu Baylor there, as Kelly out in front, and looks like he has put on at least a little bit of a gap between him and the second place ride, that 514 Ampro Yamaha of Stu Baylor. And boy, look at this. Now Baylor got some company behind him in the number 3, Jordan Ashburn, just refusing to give up in this one. He's had that lead today. You know that Ashburn wants that win. So there's Kelly right there. Can he grab his second win of the season? GNCC returns after this.
Coverage of the 2020 Grand National Cross Country Series on MAVTV is brought to you in part by Specialized Turbo E-Bikes. It's you, only faster. Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready. And by Yamaha. Revs your heart.
Welcome back to GNCC here on MAVTV. Ben Kelly found his way out front here late in the race and looks for the checkered flag and what would be his second win of the season, a win he desperately needs if he wants to stop the bleeding, as Stu Baylor came into today with a handful of wins. So we'll see if Ben Kelly can hang on and make it happen, doing his thing out front, controlling the pace of this race, and looking good here late as Stu Baylor lurks in the distance for one last opportunity to make something happen, and Jordan Ashburn remains in that number 3 spot. And now here we go. Just a few more turns to go for Ben Kelly out in front on the screen, looking through the Yamaha Racing Skycam. And a couple more turns right here, and he will come in for the checkered flag in what will be, again, his second win of the season. One Ben Kelly knew he needed today, desperately needed, if he wants to hang on to that points lead as we head into the summer break here with just a few rounds of racing left. And you know that young man is breathing a sigh of relief right now. The factory KTM ride of Ben Kelly snagging the coveted snowshoe win here on Snowshoe Mountain. Nothing quite like it here. So again, congratulations to Ben Kelly on the win, as his mechanic says, way to go, dude.
I just go out there and give it the best every time. And, you know, since I had the points lead for so long, and, you know, even if I didn't win, like, I still had the points lead. So it was a weird, like, feeling, like, just mentally it was stressful. And it was like I didn't have to win to have the points lead. So it's like, I don't know, it's like just that last little couple percent just wasn't there to get the win, and you know, I had to get the win here to keep the points lead, so that's what I did.
Like, holy shit, how did you catch me that fast afterwards?
I clipped that lapper. Dude, I had so many lapper issues today.
It was hard because, like, you get out of control and then I got one sit down.
I knew on those last 2 laps I had to put in a charge, and you know, we just didn't. We had 3 guys in the woods, and it's kind of tough to go up against that. It's just you know, we really need to get more guys in the woods, and you know, he was putting 30 seconds on us in Howard's hole, and that was just frustrating. You know, we had nobody down there, and there's just a lot of issues today. I was really frustrated with myself, frustrated with a lot of things that were going on, but you know, we'll come back. I like I said before the race, you know, it's not do or die. I know I'm the guy to beat right now, and I think I've proven that, and you know, moving forward to those final few rounds.
Well, again, congratulations to the 530 Factory KTM ride of Ben Kelly taking the big win here today. Stu Baylor hanging on for that second place finish, and of course Jordan Ashburn, the number 3 Magna 1 Motorsports ride, sealing the deal on 3rd place.
Yeah, I was happy to get up here on the mountain and get back on the podium. You know, been up here quite a bit at this race, and it's kind of tailors to my style of riding, and yeah, I felt good all through the day, and just made a few mistakes and let those guys get away. And you know, once they got away, you get in between some lappers. The dust was really bad on one side, and you know, you could just lose a lot of time. But it was a great day. I'm pretty happy with my ride, and yeah.
Well, we take a look at our Specialized race recap. It was a rough start for the 514 M Pro Yamaha as he gets a little slick on the blacktop here as we pay homage to the Blackwater 100 with those live engine starts out on the road. Early on in the race, it was a lot of Jordan Ashburn out in front. Good start for Josh Strain as well, but Jordan Ashburn enjoyed that early lead, and Stu Baylor, he had his work cut out for him early, but eventually found his way into the lead and enjoyed the lead for a while with some great battles between him and Jordan Ashburn, as well as him and Ben Kelly as the race wore on. Solid ride. This was wild right here. Window of opportunity. I'm sure the adrenaline was just pumping through Stu Baylor and Ben Kelly in this moment as these 2 riders jockeying back and forth, trying to find an opportunity, but not able to really make anything happen for either rider. And then like a freight train, here comes Jordan Ashburn into the mix just a second too late as he was looking for an opportunity to get into the fight. But boy, as the race got down to the end, it was Ben Kelly who found himself out in front in this one and was able to come in for his second win, a win he desperately needed to keep that points lead in the points championship chase against Stu Baylor. So the bleeding is stopped for now. Congratulations to Ben Kelly and all the top riders here from today. What a wild party it is on Snowshoe Mountain. I'm Mikey Waynes. We'll see you at the races.